What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering, and if there's one thing that I criticize with the maybe overly appropriate amount of venom, is those that profit from loss or from terrible events, standing on bodies to push forth their own particular agenda. Now, in politics, this happens on both sides of the aisle. They're both scumbags, in my opinion. But in the modern history, there's been no more annoying, sniveling, opportunistic than David Hogg, who was all the happy to stand on the bodies of his classmates to get rich and famous. His net worth is in the millions. He's added literally nothing to society. And, well, he's had a spectacular get woke, go broke moment that I thought, what better way to celebrate my birthday than to celebrate yet another Hogg failure. Now, regardless of what side of the aisle you are, I think we can all recognize scummy people, and that's exactly what David Hogg is. A kid that, from what I understand, wasn't anywhere near any trouble on that particular day, but was happy to stand on the loss of his fellow students and their families to make himself rich. We can look at this particular article talking about some of the things. The idea that he was a quote-unquote survivor to me is laughable. He's just been a walking cringe fest. He's much in the way that people like Greta Thunberg are. The mainstream media likes to use kids to push more nefarious agendas. I'd be very surprised if you see Greta in any type of mainstream media for a while now after she's been disgraced. None of them came to her defense when her little accidental leak of the Google Doc. But one of the more interesting battles this year was between the guy who made MyPillow. He got embroiled in politics really heavily and seemingly out of nowhere to most of us last year. And he's become a bit of a meme to some and a bit of a hero to others. I can't say I know much about his particular leanings. I know he got popular with a made-for-TV pillow, like many millions of dollars selling a pillow. And good for him. Pillows are good money, I suppose. But what happened was when he came out as, a guy who was really strongly supporting Trump, and he had a lot of questions about the latest, what happened in 2020, suddenly David Hogg poked his opportunistic head out of his hidey hole and decided to start a company to compete with him called Good Pillow. And it was going to stick it to the conservatards with another overpriced garbage pillow. Now, I don't know if MyPillow is garbage or not, but I'd be willing to bet there are many alternatives that are just as good. I'm open to being convinced by those that own one. But they made a big deal. David Hogg talking on MyPillow CEO. He's gonna launch a competing pillow. That's right. He's gonna stick it to the man. Well, like many things in his life, as I'm sure, he has already given up. He has failed. You see here, David Hogg drops pillow venture launched during spat with Mike Lindell. He must have slept on it. So he launches to compete with Mike Lindell's conservative MyPillow. Oh, God, I hate when brands do this. Like, I know it's just the idea that you're going to politicize a pillow. I hate it. I know that there are probably people that bought it, and for a particular reason. I'm going to buy some Goya foods because to own the libs. all right, everyone's allowed a little bit of, razzing back and forth, but I wish that people were buying his pillow because it was great, not because, he supported the same political candidate they did. So Hogg, 20 years old now, announced on Twitter on Saturday that he resigned and released all shares, any ownership, and any control of Good Pillow. Just like Joe Biden's thing in MyPillow, they were going to say, we're good. Our pillow's for liberals who are good. Our pillow's for good people. Never got off the ground. Quote, the reasons for my departure rest entirely with me and my own personal commitments, and I truly wish co-founder William Legate nothing but the best. Over the next several months, I'll be taking some time to focus on my studies in college and advance my activism in March for our lives and personally. Hogg, who was a Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School student, goes on. He claimed the progressive competition could put Lindell, who sells patented foam pillows on infomercials, out of business. The so-called pillow fight had been greeted with ambivalence by Lindell himself, who has responded to Axios that there's, quote, nothing wrong with competition and that does not infringe on somebody's patent. So he never even took the bait. A week later, Hogg announced he would be taking a leave of absence from his position as a board member for March for Our Lives. In tweet Saturday, the Harvard University student, by the way, didn't earn that, said he realized he couldn't devote 100% of his to his pillow company because of other commitments, including family, school, and activism. My guess is that is a lie. They weren't going to make any money. They realized just how hard it would be to start up a gigantic manufacturing company, especially right now, and he bailed. When the goings went tough, he got on his little bike and rode away. Now, you might be asking, why are you going so hard on this kid? Well, the thing is, if reports doing the rounds online are to be believed, Hogg has an estimated net worth of over $2 million. Reports say he earns most of his money through his public appearances and activist movements. As one of the founding members of an advocacy group, Hogg has been the organizer behind several high-profile protests. He's standing on the graves of his so-called friends to make money. I just don't like people like that, regardless of, maybe, sure, real life experiences may mold and shape the way people are or go forward, but it always seems like these people are way more concerned with getting rich than anything else. Just like over the weekend, whoopsie doopsie poopsie, it turned out that the co-founder of BLM has now bought a $1.4 million home in a city in LA that has a 1.4% population of black folks. In fact, she has bought 4 homes in the last year or so. These people are not good. David Hogg was never good. He was an opportunistic sleazeball. Obviously, I disagree with his moronic politics, but I actually give him a break on that because he's, when he was thrust into the national spotlight, the kid's, 17 or 18? I'm not going to be mad that some kid doesn't understand the big picture. But what I am mad about is now it's been 2 years later and the media keeps pushing this dude on us, and he's a moron. You see here a lot of LOL. It's don't believe him, William. We're starting a new company, Great Pillow, and it'll be up and running tomorrow. Probably go under on Monday. Basically, everybody just absolutely dunking on this dude because, well, he deserves it. And most of his 15 minutes of fame are long gone. But at 21 years old, I don't really feel bad pointing out that while he's young, he still has far more reach and power than I do. He has connections in mainstream media. He's worth millions of dollars. He's got connections at Harvard. There's no reason to hold back on this dude. And the fact of the matter is, I am certain that Good Pillow was not going to be profitable. And that's exactly why he bailed out on it. Get woke, go broke. I hope I never hear from you again, David Hogg. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.